Okay, so to recapitulate, we last time explored the option of bookmark, right? So I'll just go to, uh, I'll just walk through the bookmark option once again so that all of us are very comfortable in terms of what is bookmark and how do we use it, right? Uh, so first, what we do is that we go to this option and we add buttons, right? So we say, I want to add a, I want to add a shape. So I'll add a shape over here. Okay, and I'll copy this and I'll paste it, right? So I have two shapes. Now I will add text in this. So I would add sales. Okay, right. Now I have two buttons. One is profit, one is sales. Now I will add a chart over here. That chart should say for category I want to see profit, right? So this is profit by category, and then I'll again copy this chart and paste it, and here I will show, instead of profit I will show sales. Okay, so I have profit, I have sales. Okay, now I go to view and there is selection pane, right? So selection pane shows us whatever are the components of the canvas, it shows, right? And think of it like a table. Okay, you add a paper, okay, add another paper, right? So there are layers to the canvas, so accordingly the layers of canvas are present over here, right? So if you see, profit is hidden by sales. So if I take profit on the top side, the profit appears on the top side, like profit appears on the top from the top view. So you can adjust the layers as well from selection pane. So let's say if you are using some sort of a dashboard where two visuals are appearing on one above the other, you want to adjust that, you can do that using selection pane. Okay, now you have two charts, two buttons. What we want to achieve is, we want to click on button of profit, profit should appear. We want to click on sales, sales should appear. So I'll create two bookmarks. I'll rename this to profit. Okay, and I'll rename this to sales. Okay, now when I click on profit, uh, here in the bookmark pane, the sale should be hidden, and then I'll update this. I click on sales, and profit should be hidden in this case, right? And I update it, right? Now I click on profit, click on bookmark, click on sales, click on profit, click on sales. So at least bookmark pane here is working, right? Now we know bookmarks are working. We'll close selection panes, right? And then we go to this profit button. We go to this action, we select it on, right? And here we select bookmark option, and here I'll say profit, and here I'll click on sales. I'll again start this, I'll click on bookmark, and here I will say sales, right? So control click profit, profit is visible. Control click sales, sales is visible, right? So as simple as that. And you can actually explore and do a lot of things using this bookmark, and I have one really good example to show you in this session, which is real world scenario, so you can relate to that. So that is something that you can achieve through bookmark, right? Any questions or any doubts in this case so far? Because bookmark is really important. Yeah. Yes. Right. So when you say update, you are setting up this to be updated, right? So if I click on sales and I say profit should be hidden, right? And then I update this, right? When I click on profit, the sales is hidden, right? Now let's say if I want to show sales as well, right? So then I will show sales as well, and I'll say update. So the update means that whatever is the current situation in the selection pane, right? In this selection pane, whatever is current that I have set should be visible, right? So if I click on sales, only sales is visible. If in while clicking sales, if I also want to show profit, I'll select profit as well, and I'll say update. So update means updating that state of visuals that are appearing in the canvas. Okay. Okay, so we have seen bookmark, no doubts there. I think it's good. The next part is performance analyzer. Okay, the application of performance analyzer comes into picture when we are trying to understand the performance of a dashboard. Okay, I'll show you what I mean here. So let's say I create a chart. I say profit and I say city. Okay, now yes, Kaustav. So yeah, so selection pane and bookmark pane, you have to add both of them. Yeah, and then add bookmark in the bookmark pane. Okay. Yeah. So coming to performance analyzer, okay, we have this one chart that we have built, okay, and we have this other slicer, and in this slicer we say add a ship mode, right? So if I click on slicer, the data gets filtered, right? But in terms of performance analyzer, what I can do is I start recording. Okay, I click on record and I change the filters. Okay, I say first class, I say same day, second class, right? So if you see, for every interaction, it has calculated the duration of change of visuals, right? So how much time slicer took to change, how much time this chart took to change, okay? And so you can see how many microseconds every time I clicked on a slicer, it changed. Okay, if I click on standard class again, it will create another record here, and it will show slicer took 108 microseconds and sum of profit took 308 microseconds, right? Even if I click on this chart, it says cross highlighted, right? It took 89 seconds. So as you understand, the performance analyzer actually records how much time it took to change the visual or interact with dashboard, right? So let's say if you are dealing with a huge dashboard like Pawan showed us few minutes back, that it was taking a lot of time, right? Let's say he wants to understand like why it is taking so much time. He can click on slicer and he can see which visuals are taking a lot of time to change, right? By every visual you can see why every visual is taking so much time to change, and then he can see that visual why it is taking so much time, understand the backend query, power query or the data model, and then from there he can take a decision. Okay, this is the reason that is taking so much time. Yeah, we are recording the meeting, right? So that is the one good important indicator of performance analyzer. Okay, so yeah, that is something that I wanted to show all of you. The performance analyzer helps you to record the timing it took to change the visuals. At the same time, why if your report is appearing slow, you can go back and understand every visual in terms of the time that it has taken, right? You can clear this and again see the time it takes, and then you can stop it, right? Start recording again, refresh visuals. How much time does it take to refresh visuals as well? Let's say if you're dealing with huge dashboards and there are 10 Power BI developers who are working on this, you can export this, and after exporting as well, you can see the information after exporting, and then you can store that information somewhere. So that is the main use of performance analyzer. It helps you to understand why your visuals are taking so much time. So it gives you time in microseconds, right? So that is something that you can remember. Right. So it does appear, it does take time, or it does take toll on other visuals as well, but more important, like it will. So let's say if you click a slicer, there are two visual, one is very heavy, one is not so heavy, and you select one option in the slicer. First visual, which is not so heavy, will appear quickly, but even in that it will impact the performance of this visual as well, and the second visual obviously will appear a little slowly. So I had one use case where I have built a relationship of three tables, and one table was coming out of input from three different tables, and we were using one to many relationship. So I'll explain what one to many relationship is. But because it was going through that data model and taking all three columns, and we've built around like 50 measures on top of it in that table. So because of that, it was taking a lot of time. So idea is that if you want to improve the performance of your dashboard, try to restrict your visuals from one or two tables, not more than that. That is the ideal scenario for improving your performance of dashboard. So yeah, it does impact the other visual performance as well. Mm, I'm not sure it gives you the average. It just gives you the duration. Um, but I don't think they have this functionality of getting the average visual time. It just gives you. No. So what you can do is, like, let's say this is the report you want to analyze, right? So you can stop the recording, right? Okay, and then you click and start recording again. Okay, and then say same day. Okay, now you have this. Now you can either export this or stop this, right? And again go to the next tab, start recording again, and again stop. So that is something that you can do. So that is something that you have to just take one or two samples. You don't have to do the report entirely. One or two samples of the this action will tell you how much time does it take. Right, 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 right. Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. Yes, Sachin. Okay, so right, right. So in this case, I've enabled bookmark for both of them for Kaustubh to understand. But if you see, if I click on this, for every one action that I take with this dashboard, one new record gets created in this. So either you can stop it, right, or and start recording again, right? I can stop it, right, and then I can start recording again this one action, and then again I stop it. So that is something that you can do. Yeah. Yes, it is, but I don't think it is sorting. Right. So sort by, and then you can say total time, and then I'll say descending. Yes. So after that, you can see that we have uh, changed the order of ascending to descending by total times that we have taken. Yeah. Yes, true. So, so this is about performance analyzer. Okay. Uh, the next thing is, as you remember from last session, we were going through all these options in this pane, right? Home tab, insert tab, modeling tab, right? The next is, as you can see, we have explored few of this like bookmarks, selection pane, and performance analyzer. The next is sync slicers, right? So this is another category of filter that people use. Okay, so you must be thinking that this guy innovates one new type of filter in every session that we go. So this sync slicer is another new type of filter that we have. I promise it's the last one, or no, it's not the last one. There are a few more to come, but let's see how sync slicer operates. Okay, so sync slicer effectively deals with slicer functionality. Okay, so you take this slicer, right, and I say subcategory, right. Now I have this slicer over here, right. I create a chart. So I have this chart. I say category and profit, right. Now if I click on this bookcase, it will show me data related to bookcase, right. Now I create another page, page 12, and I'll say segment wise sales. Okay. I'll add some few additional fields to it. Okay. So now this is another visual that is created, right. So when I click on this slicer and I click on this sync slicer option, it asks me that, you know, it is currently visible on page 11. Do you want to keep it on any other page as well? So I'll say I want it to be on page 12 as well. And the refresh option that you see over here, just ignore that. Okay, and this visibility, ignore that. If simplest way possible, if you want this slicer to work on the other page as well and sync it with other page, you can just select both of these options. I'll tell you what. Okay, so if once you go to the next page, same slicer is appearing, right, and with the same accessories option that I have selected. Now I go back and I say binders, and I go back to page 12, and we have binders. I select chairs here, and I go back to page 11, and you have chairs as well. Okay, so sync slicer is something that you can sync across all pages. So it's just slicer type only, but extended functionality of your existing slicers. So in the real world, what we do is that we have a small image over here. We click on that image, a filter pane appears, which have 7 8 slicers, right. And what we do is that, let's say we make 5 pages. So across 5 pages we make sure that the slicers are synced and visible. So if someone says region west from page 1 and he jumps to page 5, right, so even on the page 5 he has that region west selected itself. Not, he doesn't have to change it again. So that is the basic functionality that we generally use. Yes. So right, right. So report level filter actually applies report across all pages, right? So let's say you have 10 pages, the report level filter makes you change or applied on all pages. Sync slicer is something that you can set up to specific pages that you want to apply. Like you have one slicer and you want to give user that functionality of changing things and then appearing on the page 1, page 2, page 3. So you are giving the flexibility to user that change this is the slicer, versus you have a filter pane in which you say region west and that is applied blanketly across all pages, right. So that is the difference. So sync slicer, you can choose in which pages you want to apply and keep the visibility on. Right, 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 correct, correct, correct. But again, the caveat is, You can still play around with edit interactions we discovered few days ago, right? And let's say one visual that you don't want to apply any filter on, you can block it or lock it and apply the filter on other two visuals, but one visual remains unaffected, right? It will not apply. Yeah. Yes, Nikhil. Okay. I guess Niket is on mute. Uh, okay. 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 Cool. So we have seen types of filter, which is visual level, page level, report level, slicer, edit interactions, drill through, and then the sync slicers, right? So we have a lot of things that we can play around with slicers. The other type of filter that comes into picture is the parameter that will go through probably later stages of our classes. But you have a lot of ways you can filter the data, right? You can do it through drill through, you can do it through sync slicers, you can do it through page level or visual level. So yeah, the next part is page view. Okay, so in this page view you can set up width from fit to page to fit to width. Okay, or actual size. So there isn't much change because this right now it's a default size. Okay, the other thing is you can select the mobile layout. Okay, so let's say if you create a report and you publish it on Power BI service, and you want to custom, yeah, hi Niket, yes. Hmm. Right, right, right. So you can do that without clicking any visuals. You can go to this format of your page, and in the canvas settings, instead of 16 to 9, you can select various size options. Okay, and here you can say custom, and with custom you can set up the width, let's say to 1200, and height to 900. Okay, so that is something that you can use. And while you are publishing this report to, let's say you have 5 6 pages, it's a good practice that, let's say if you are using 900 to 1200 size, then that size should be consistent across all pages. Otherwise the report doesn't look very appealing. But still you can use this custom option, and you can set up the size as per your requirement. So you'll have to do it for all pages. So if you go to this page 12, it is again 16 is to 9, right? So you have to select again custom and change it again over here. So you'll have to do that manually for every page that you create. So the next option is mobile layout. So it is possible that you will be creating, and it is quite likely or possibility that you will be creating Power BI dashboards for mobile use, right? So someone who is a CEO of the company who doesn't have time and who is at the airport and wants to see the reports for his company, you can do that, right? Using this Power BI mobile view functionality. Okay, so you go to this mobile layout, you have these three visuals, right? So let's take this one, and then you can increase the size. You take this another one, put it over here, and let's say you add the slicer on the top, right? And here in the slicer you can say, instead of vertical list, give me drop down. So you have given him a mobile view of the dashboard that you have created. Okay. This is something that you can explore and try. There isn't much. Yes. Yes. So here now, yes. So here, let's say you can change the effects or the properties of related to chart. So I guess you want to decrease the font size and decrease the width of the chart to make sure that it appears in the mobile view, right? Right, right. So you are saying that the size should be changed or size should be altered, right? Right, right. Okay, okay. Right. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so I'll come back here and I'll stop the mobile view for now. Okay. So you're saying that in this case it looks clear to you, right? Okay. Okay. So you can play around with the x-axis, sorry, y-axis range, right? Or you can, let's say, start logarithmic scale. Okay. And then using log scale you can try, and then when you do the mobile layout, right? So it tells you that it is little about 10K. The other option, now this is also misleading, right? Now it is almost like 17, 18,000, right? I don't know how much it is exactly. But the other option that you can see set is, instead of log scale, you can keep it off, and you can set minimum and maximum, and that could help you to set up something. uh, yeah. So let's say 10,000, right? And here, how much you want to put? Let's say 25. 25. Now if you put into mobile view, right? So still it shows little about 12K. Yeah. If we increase the height, then it's possible. Yeah. So if I increase the height, you can see that 20K and 15K and 10K. So that is something that you can do. So you can adjust the height. So those are the things. So as we've learned, like, we have to be really careful with mobile view, because the message that you could be passing could be very different. Um, right. Yeah, yeah. Yes. So here you can decrease the font size, let's say by 8 or 5, right? So it is saying 5 is very less. So 6 maybe, 7, 8. Okay, it is allowing me to do till 8. I don't know why this drop down is not working for some reason. This drop down is not working for some reason, but yeah, like for by this you can change the font in the visual. Yes, Sachin. Yes. So you create this mobile view, okay, and you share it on Power BI service, right? And then as you share the report like to anyone else, you can share the report. Now instead of people watching it on like using it on laptop or PCs, they can have Power BI in app on their mobile, and they can just and then they can just use that link or the sign in from that and access the mobile report that they want to see. Yes, you can if you have like if I have a pro license and if you have a pro license and if I share it with you, even that works. Yeah. So either user and the developer both should have a pro license, or user should have deployed it on the premium capacity. Either one of them should be able to do the job. Yeah. And we'll explore the license functionality as we go through in the next sessions. Um, yeah. Yes. Yes, Pawan. No, no, no. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. It will be the same. Yes, Nikhil. Yes. So it is a device sensitive and it is a different report altogether. So it creates a mobile view, and that mobile view is specific one additional report that you generate, and that link would be like if you open that link in your PC or laptop, you would see something like what we are seeing right now. So you can either have the option of creating a dashboard out of a report in Power BI and create a mobile view out of it. That would be a different layer. And second thing is, yes, it is device sensitive. So if you open that kind of report on your PC, it will look something like this. Right, right. You can open it. You can open it, but the view won't be like. Let's say if I create something like this, right? So if I build a visual I just need to get out of this mobile view. So let's say if I build a dashboard like this and share it on Power BI service, no mobile view, okay, it will appear like this in your PC. If you open a mobile, it will not look like a mobile view. It will look something like this. So Google is customized. This is not, you have to create another report or dashboard out of a report to give you a good mobile view. Link will remain, yeah, link will remain same, yeah. Hmm. Right, right. Yes, yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah. Yes, Kaustup. Yes, exactly. The next type of uh, functionality in view is the themes option. Okay, so if you open this themes, right, you can see a lot of options over here, right? So in terms of themes, if I select this theme like Bloom, right? So, and if I create visuals, so first of all, the background gets changed, right? And if I create a new chart out of it, so without me changing anything, the colors and the function, like the colors and the look and feel of the dashboard has changed, right? So this is something which is achievable in this themes. Okay, so these are the different themes that you can have, uh, and you can play around with it. If you want, if you create some sort of a custom uh, theme of Power BI, you can export it into JSON. Or let's say if Shripad or Niket, someone has created a good Power BI theme, I can import it. Okay, so I can browse for themes in my PC, or I can export this theme and share it with you people. You guys can import that theme and share, use it for your own uses, right? So let's say there are some there in every company when we are developing Power BI reports, everyone has certain set of format. Like we'll use this font, we'll use this size, we'll use this background, this logo. So logos won't be there, but the background, the colors, and the fonts, everything you can export and import using this theme wall option. Also, if there is certain good theme that you see on internet, you can download the JSON file, and from JSON you can import the theme over here. So whenever, make sure that when you're importing or exporting themes, it is saved in the JSON format. Okay. So these are the pretty much view options that we had. Okay. Um, the next is the help tab. Okay, now this is something which was really interesting. So if you see in help, uh, there are a lot of things that you can see over here. Just like Tableau, R, Python, or any other analytical tools, the community which supports Power BI is really strong. And when I say community, in terms of number of users who are using Power BI, okay. And why they say community means that you post a question, you get an answer. You submit an idea, Microsoft looks at it, and there is a good chance that they will accept it or reject it based on the usability of the function. So first is the guided learning, right? So we click on guided learning, and you have a guided learning path for Power BI. Okay, and you can see all the options that are there, like get started, get transform data, model data, build Power BI visuals, distribute insights, right? So all those things that you want to explore are there. Okay, can you see my can you see this guided learning path on Power BI that I'm sharing or not? Okay, okay, okay. The next thing is training videos. So you click on training videos and you go to YouTube and you will be able to see Power BI's Microsoft Power BI YouTube channel with all the uses and everything. But it is not as amazing as, like, there are some good features, right? I mean, as you can see, they have added month over month the updates, like what would be July 22 update, August 22 update. All the updates are there. But if you really want to see the best YouTube channel, it's Guy in a Cube. Okay, Guy in a Cube, right? And you can actually follow this channel and learn a lot of things. You can interact with both of these guys are really awesome. You can tag them on like Twitter and they really respond. You can add a comment, they respond. these both are the uh, these both folks are the MVP of Power BI. Okay, and they almost in a week they add 2 or 3 new videos. So even if you add a practice to say, I will add 2 videos every week, even after that you will end up learning a lot of things from Power BI. And they have so much content, so much, and they add people from different industries as well, like Replay Power BI Adoption More and Q&A from Melissa and Matthew Rocho. All these are, experts, and they make sure that they are bringing experts to show some really interesting features, like, let's say, this checking out the new Power BI row level security editor. So anything new that Power BI adds, these guys actually create a video and share it with you. So even this is certified by Microsoft. Microsoft recommends you watch these videos. So it's all good, right? The next thing is documentation. So click on documentation and you can see the documentation of every button, every functionality that is there in Power BI. So right from the basic, you will have all the documentation and everything. Whatever we discuss in this session, right? Everything is explained in detail format here. So there could be something that I have not covered in the session. You can actually go to this documentation and understand. I'm yet to meet a person who has gone through this entire documentation and used it, but still, I would highly recommend that you should go through this documentation. The next is support. Okay, so let's say you are developing something and there is some issue or some problem that you're facing and you're not able to solve it, right? So click on this support. Okay, and here you can ask a question. Okay, report an issue. So if you see that there is issue in Power BI or there is a bug, you can report that. Okay, you can add a question. Okay, now apart from this community, okay, there is another good community, right? So Power BI Stack Overflow. Okay, always I would recommend to use this Stack Overflow website for any Power BI related questions that you might have, right? Like, can't get deal on total complex model. So these are all Power BI questions. So if you get stuck in something, you can always go to this Stack Overflow website and ask questions. So not just Power BI, but like R, Python, Tableau, all questions you can get from this Stack Overflow website. You can I will always recommend Stack Overflow. Of course, this Power BI community is great as well, right? Then you have Power BI blog. So this blog actually tells you what are the new things that are coming, right? So now if you see Power BI March 2023 feature summary. So what new things that have come in 2023 update, right? So you can read about it, and this will tell you what are the new things that are coming in. So in terms of reporting, in terms of data connectivity, in terms of service, in terms of mobile app. So that is something that you can always explore. There is no end in terms of how much you can explore. Community, same thing that I just said. This is the community. You can look at the announcements over here, right? You can join the different forums and follow this, like, let's say, get help with Power BI, and let's say if you click on desktop, right, and then you see there are a lot of views. to every question that they have submitted, right? So how to convert a calculated table to a normal table. So this is someone that, they have posted a question, and then someone has replied with the answer. Okay, I guess this is a question also. So this is the answer. And just like that, in terms of discussion, like people post questions and they can get answers to different questions that they have. Then Power BI developers, same thing. You can see what are the new things that are coming up in the Power BI developer documentation. Now this is little advanced than the first get started with Power BI or Power BI learning in terms of that difficulty level, but definitely you can go through this and try to understand what new thing that are coming up, right? Submit the idea. Okay, so let's say you are developing a dashboard. Okay, and you have some idea which is very, you think it could be very useful, right? So you can post the idea over here. People like you, me, and I, we can vote for it. So let's say Niket submits an idea, I and all of us can vote for it. Higher the votes it gets, it they look at it and they add a status, right? So if you click on completed, you can see someone had posted like paginated reports, please make it available on pro and premium. So actually Microsoft went on and added this feature, and they have added the status as completed, right? So it is really useful. Like you can add some really insightful idea that you think that is not there right now in Power BI. So you can add that and that gets accepted. Then the external tools. So any external tools that you can play around with Power BI. So you don't have to use all of these tools 70 to 80% of time. But one tool that I would definitely recommend is DAX Studio, that you can connect. I would explain like how do we use DAX Studio while we are writing DAX. But apart from that, you don't need these many functionalities. Maybe sometime Python if you are into Python. But apart from that, these are some added functionalities. But 90 to 95% of time, you can do your job in just plain Power BI desktop. So, but these are some added functionalities that you can look at, like this one DAX beautifier. So you write a long DAX and it sort of puts your DAX into clear and concise structure. So that is something that you can explore. Examples, right? So you have sample data set, sample reports, community galleries, and partner showcase. So if you click on this partner showcase, this is something that you all would like. So partner showcase, there are two things in partner showcase. One is which Microsoft does partner showcase to Fortune 500 companies. So if you are Office user and also if you work in Fortune 500 companies, there is a good chance that Microsoft does partner showcase to your company. If there are some Power BI SMEs in your company, reach out to them and ask them that do we have a partner showcase or not. Okay. The other type of partner showcase is that you see over here is the website that they have created, and here you can see different companies how they have used Power BI and their functionality. Okay. So this Adweya solution created a financial performance analysis, and if I click on learn more and I say view report, so this is the report that they have created. So what it does, it gives me some sort of idea that if I'm developing something for finance, how can I make sure, how can I get some motivation out of this dashboard that we are seeing, right? So some idea, some I get to see that this there is a pipeline related data over here. So you can create this kind of visuals for your team as well. You can go back. The other one I thought was really cool. So this is operations excellence analytics dashboard for manufacturing organization. Okay. So if you see over here, this is the report. Can any of you tell me like which functionality they are using over here? Yes, correct. So using bookmarks, they are actually creating this one page view. So if you are creating something, you can look at this as one motivation and say, okay, I'll just use one page, and using one page, I'll create something like this. Uh, so yeah, these are some examples that you can go and explore in partner showcase. There are, I guess, so many options and so many examples for almost um, every domain I see. There is one dashboard. So Amazon Marketplace Analytics dashboard. So okay, I guess this report is not available. So this is something that please explore and try to see how you can come up with different design ideas. That would be really cool. And consulting services. Okay, so this consulting services is something that small companies or startups which are offering. So let's say this company, right, Spyglass MTG LLC. Okay, so they are charging 15,000 for 4 week implementation of Power BI. Okay, and I can say contact me and they will contact me. Okay, let's hope that maybe few of us will create a startups and their names will appear over here. So let's say Accenture has this 24/7 collaboration tool. So you can reach out to them and sorry, you can say contact me and they will reach out to you and they will charge you something. So Kindrill here says 4 hour workshop and they're just pricing $1 for it. So you can imagine what kind of marketing they might be doing here is that they would be doing 4 hours of show and tell things and then they would say this is something that we can do. Um, so yeah, this is consulting services. Uh, 6 weeks Tableau to Power BI migration, need analytics. A lot of good companies: PwC, IC, PwC, Latent View, Ingaro, Tiger Analytics, Power BI metadata extractor. Nice. Inventory optimization. Okay. So this is help, and as you can see, you can get a lot of help from these few buttons. But best thing about all of these is that, in my opinion, you can submit the idea and Microsoft would take a look at it and say, okay boss, we'll take a look at it and we'll let you know if this looks good or not, right? Yes. Okay, so I guess we are over time, but tomorrow I wanted to explore this option which is key influencer. So I'll just give you some idea and then tomorrow we'll explore this in detail. So this key influencers that you see over here, this kind of visual, you click on it. Okay, and then this works on mix of linear regression, logistics regression, and decision tree. Those are the three types of algorithms that are there in machine learning. Don't worry about them, we'll explore them in detail. I'll explain how every algorithm works in a brief way. But let's say I have a data of Sachin Tendulkar every match, right? I have data of every innings he has scored, how he got out, how many innings he played in that test match, against which opposition, which ground, date, the number of tests, right? And the result, have we won or we lost? Did he score a century or did he score half century? So I have data related to this, okay? So based on this data, can I understand if Sachin scores a century, right? What are the factors that influence it? If I want to understand that, okay? So I will say century, and I'll say analyze. Okay, and I'll say century yes. If such, what influences Sachin Tendulkar to score a century? Okay, and I explain that by ground. There is no pattern. Okay, according to him, there is no pattern to it, right? If I say opposition, it is running some analysis and it tells Bangladesh. Quite obvious, right? So it tells that if the opposition is Bangladesh, the likelihood of Sachin scoring century increases by 3 times, right? So it tells me the likelihood of scoring century increases by 3.32x. Don't worry about the backend mathematics, that how it is calculated. We'll go through it tomorrow together. Uh, just remember, it is using some sort of algorithm to come up to this decision. Okay, let's see what other could be. Ground is not playing anything over here. It is still the same. So yeah, if I say ha- dismissal type, okay, again very much obvious that this is like he's not out for the most of the centuries. So when he's not out, good likelihood that he score a century. The position, like what position he's coming into bat. Let's see, do we have some pattern over there? No, we don't, right? What else it could be? Number of sixes he has scored. Okay, so it is telling me that if he hits two sixes, it's he's likely to score a century in that match. Okay, let's see fours. Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Because it is not ball by ball data; it is overall data. But in an innings, if he's hitting a six, yeah. But if he's hitting six after the innings, yeah, could be possible that that doesn't appear to be a very valid. Thing. No, we don't. We don't have that data. This is just one row for every innings that he has played, and within one inning, if he has played within one test, if he has played two innings, we have two rows for one test match. Otherwise, one row per inning, right? So the crux of the understanding is that if I want to understand why why this is happening, what are the chances or what are the possible variables that are affecting this century to happen, right? I have another cricketing data set that we'll explore, and tomorrow we'll explore in detail why it is showing like that, right? So I would select. I have another data set, right? So this data set is test player innings all time test player innings, right? How much runs that they have scored. Okay, so here there is one additional column which is inning score buckets. Okay, so inning score buckets are either 0 to 49, 100 to 149, uh, 200 or 50 to 99, right? So we'll explore these. Okay, so I again take a key influencer. Okay, and I will look at that bucket. Okay, so that bucket is over inning scored bucket. So I want to analyze this inning scored bucket. Okay, by different variables. So first is I would look at ground. Okay, and then I would say what is the likelihood of innings run scored 100 to 149, right? So when I select that, it tells me that when the ground is Cardiff or the ground is Rajkot, the likelihood of innings scored more increases by 13 times. Or if the ground is Rajkot, the innings scored increases. That is a good likelihood that batsman will score century over here, right? Other thing that I could add is country. There is no country related for this. Opposition, I'll add opposition. So if I add opposition, and if I remove the ground and the country, again the opposition is Bangladesh. So if Bangladesh, someone is playing against Bangladesh, there is a good chance that someone will score a century. The second one is India, and third one is Sri Lanka. So it tells that we have more centuries in subcontinent than outside. Makes sense. So yeah, those are the things that you can look at. So look at why it is what is happening, and for that to happen, what are the variables that are influencing it to happen. So that is how key influencers uh, help you to understand the why associated with every what. So that is something that we can explore. We'll explore this more in tomorrow's class. The backend algorithms and why it shows some number associated with it, right? So that is something interesting we can explore, and let's get some interesting insights out of it. Yeah. Any questions so far? Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. Thank you very much.